Jujutsu Kaisen is the story of modern Japanese society, which lives with cursed spirits and sorcerers who exorcise them to save humans. Their energy senses cursed spirits, which cannot be seen by the naked eye. A cursed spirit is a race of spiritual beings incarnated from the cursed energy that leaks out of humans over time due to their negative emotions. In this video, we'll take a closer look at each cursed spirit that we have seen and read about in Jujutsu Kaisen so far. So buckle up and put your spoiler hats on, because there are going to be things from here on out that you might not know about. What exactly are cursed spirits? How are they created? Before we get into the list, let's give you guys a short refresher/introduction course to cursed spirits. Cursed spirits are created when cursed energy leaks from humans who have negative emotions or harbor some sort of negativity. When cursed energy gathers in a spot and builds up like stacking Lego blocks, a cursed spirit is born. There are 4 grades of cursed spirit. Grade 4 is the weakest, and Grade 1 and special grades are the strongest. Grade 4 or lower curses can be killed with a wooden bat, while 2 or 3 can be shot down with shotguns. Grade 1 and special grades need more than tanks and cluster bombs to be killed. Some common hotspots for cursed spirits to linger are schools and hospitals, where there are chances of humans having a variety of bad memories that they hold on to. It could be because of bad grades in school, being bullied, or the death of a loved one in the hospital. What do you think is the purpose of their existence? For the most part, it's to destroy society. Cursed spirits hunt humanity. It's ironic in a way, isn't it? As more cursed spirits hunt humans, more humans exude negativity, and as fear and hatred spread, more cursed spirits are created. As Gege Akutami has portrayed society in the anime, these cursed spirits are symbolic of negativity, and they cannot be destroyed using normal weapons. These spirits are made stronger by the intensity of the negativity created by people. The only way to eliminate them is by exorcising them, and that's what the entire anime is about. Now that we have that explanation out of the way, let's get into the list proper. Occult Club Cursed Spirit, Grade 2. The Occult Club Cursed Spirit is one of the first antagonists of Jujutsu Kaisen. It's the first cursed spirit that attacked Yuji when he was in the Occult Club with Setsuko and Takashi. It was on the hunt for one of Sukuna's cursed fingers. It snuck into the school, sensing the cursed energy of the finger. This cursed spirit seems to have 0 to low intelligence, as he wasn't able to talk and was just obeying orders. This spirit didn't have any special powers, but it was strong enough to make the fight difficult for Megumi. The cursed spirit is turquoise green with 2 red eyes on both sides and giant teeth with 6 limbs. It also has a small patch of fur on its back. It was fortunate that the people in the school weren't able to see it. Something that ugly and grotesque is bound to give them a nightmare. Megumi was also on a mission to get Sukuna's finger. When Yuji learned that, not knowing any other way to save it, he swallowed the finger, and that marked the beginning of a vicious journey for Yuji as a sorcerer, and also for Ryomen Sukuna's vessel. Roppongi Cursed Spirit, Grade 4. The Roppongi Cursed Spirit is a low-grade cursed spirit, but quite dangerous for its intelligence. Surprisingly enough, the spirit was able to strategize from getting killed by holding a boy hostage. The cursed spirit looks like a frog, with hair on its body and an ugly smile. It had no special powers. The Roppongi curse shocked Nobara with its cunningness, as she never encountered a low-grade curse with an intellect this high. That made it a good specimen for the newly acquitted sorcerers Yuji and Nobara to learn about cursed spirits. This was primarily to judge Nobara's strength and gutsiness. She managed to pass Gojo's test and prove that she was capable of becoming a sorcerer. Although it's still a mystery how the boy reached the abandoned warehouse and if he was able to see the cursed spirit, or was he able to sense the energy surrounding him. From what we've seen in the anime, it seemed like he was able to feel the presence of something holding on to him as he wasn't able to move. Flyhead, Grade 4. Flyheads are lower than Grade 4 cursed spirits. Weak sorcerers use small-time curses that make cursed spirits look like insects with hideous faces and big eyes. They can be easily trapped within a box wrapped in talismans. Jujutsu High used it to test if humans were able to see curses or not. Flyheads were also used by Toji Fushiguro in his battle with Gojo Satoru. He had an inventory curse wrapped around his shoulder that would produce any cursed spirit or weapon that Toji wished to use, flyheads being one of them. They were used as maneuvers, similar to how fighter planes dodge missiles. Toji used it to hide and ambush Gojo by swarming him with flyheads. They also acted like makeshift grenades by interfering with Gojo's senses, trying to detect Toji's presence as he possessed 0 cursed energy. They're nothing better than the locust infestations we see on fields, except that they fly and possess cursed energy. Just like killing insects in real life with bats, these flyheads can be killed by hitting them with a wooden bat, but it's difficult to get them all. Fish School Cursed Spirit, Grade 4. These are some of the few curses Yuta and Inumaki faced in missions in JJK-0. The Happiness Shopping Center was a hotspot for cursed spirits, and it was curtained to bar curses from harming non-sorcerers. Yuta and Inumaki were tasked with exorcising the curses and clearing the area. As the curtains were lifted, Yuta and Inumaki were attacked by small fish-like curse. Soon they realized it wasn't just a single fish curse, it was a school of them. Being such low-tier cursed spirits, the entire school was eliminated with one command from Inumaki. Yasuhachi Bridge Cursed Spirit, Grade 4. Taking down the Yasuhachi Bridge Cursed Spirit was easy for the trio, especially Megumi, as he was able to figure out his patterns in movements and appearances. Nobara compared the movement of the Cursed Spirit to a whack-a-mole. Though the Cursed Spirit was weak, it knew domain expansion and was able to trap the trio in its domain and expand to the size of the entire Yasuhachi Bridge. This made it difficult for them to locate the curse. Yuji, Nobara, and Megumi were investigating the deaths of former Saitama Urami East Junior High students who were cursed and killed in separate months under the same conditions. Yasuhachi Bridge was also known as a popular suicide point. It's quite a hotspot for cursed energy, isn't it? The events escalated when Megumi found out that his sister, Sumiki, had also been there. Megumi, Yuji, and Nobara then decided to go to the bridge at night to investigate further. This required them to go under the bridge and cross a small river. The act of crossing rivers into barriers has meaning in Jujutsu. The students were successful in entering the domain of the curse after crossing the barrier. Finger Bearer, Special Grade. Finger bearers are the special grade cursed spirits that are born from the cursed womb spawned when a cursed spirit eats one of Sukuna's fingers. They can create innate domains, which is like a precursor to a full-fledged domain expansion. The curse is white and bulky, with blue stripes on his head and 2 eyes. Like all curses, he has a horrible smile that makes him look psychotic. Finger bearers have the standard abilities of a special grade spirit, but they are immensely powerful, as they have the cursed energy of Sukuna's finger within them. They are also intelligent curses, who are little Sukunas in a way, as they love cruelty and toying around with their opponents. These cursed spirits are found at their point of origin and attack those who trespass. Yuji and Megumi were 2 of the first few shown to have an encounter with a finger bearer. Both were severely injured in their fierce battle with it. Yuji had almost lost his fingers. Had Sukuna not woken up in the nick of time, we wouldn't have seen Yuji for the rest of Jujutsu Kaisen. This was one of Yuji's first fights with a special grade curse before he developed his cursed energy. Later, Megumi would be able to exercise a finger bearer all by himself by developing his domain expansion in the middle of the fight. Finger bearers are seen in the Fearsome Womb arc and the Death Painting arc in the series. Toji's Inventory Curse, Grade 4. Toji Fushigoro's inventory curse was a worm-like cursed spirit with a head that resembled a half-born human that he had wrapped around Toji's shoulders. The reason it's called the inventory curse is because it produces a wide range of weapons and low-grade cursed spirits according to requirements. Toji and the curse share a master-servant relationship. Quite similar to Hermione's bag that had the undetected extension charm, this curse can also produce cursed weapons like the split soul katana, the inverted spear of heaven, and the chain of 1,000 miles. It's also able to release fly heads that Toji used to distract Gojo in his fight at the end of the hidden inventory arc. This also means that the inventory curse has a special and strong intestine that can store all of this. It was also able to store Rika's body inside of it. It doesn't seem to digest what he has inside him. The inventory curse can alter its size, as Toji shrinks it to the size of a palm and eats it to hide it from other Jujutsu sorcerers. The inventory curse had a master-slave relationship with Toji, which is why Geto could not absorb it when he first saw it on Toji. We don't know how well its consciousness is developed, but the inventory curse can talk, as it is called Geto Mommy later in the arc, and it seemingly has some rudimentary emotions as well. Kogai, Grade 2. Kogai is a Grade 2 locust cursed spirit that was born from the collective hatred humans have towards grasshoppers. He's a large, bipedal, humanoid creature resembling a normal grasshopper. Kogai uses 2 of his 6 legs to stand on and the other 4 as arms. Kogai isn't particularly smart, although he considers himself to be intelligent. He's capable of speech and communication to some degree, albeit with some occasional troubles. When he met Yuji, all he talked about was either how smart he was or how smart Yuji was. When Yuji said that smart people don't talk much and are more action-oriented, the cursed spirit was surprised and stopped talking. He was seen in the initial episodes of the Shibuya arc, where he was stationed to guard the commission curtain and kill non-sorcerers. Hana's Mom Curse, Grade 3 or 2. Hana Kurusu is a cursed incarnated sorcerer who shares the body with the angel who lived in the Heian era. Hana is brought back to life in the culling game by Kenjaku to hunt down and kill other incarnated players, including the disgraced one, Sukuna. The anime hasn't reached the culling game arc, but she is first mentioned in the initial chapters of the arc. The story of her curse is in chapter 210, which begins with a flashback to Hana's childhood. She was seen with 2 other young children being fed inedible junk by a cursed spirit. The children were held hostage by this curse, which had some sort of maternal affection towards the children and Hana. They all knew that the curse wasn't their mother, but they couldn't complain or cry, as anyone who's scared of this cursed spirit would suddenly disappear. It took Hana around a year before she was able to escape from this mom curse. She followed a white dog with a fluffy tail back to the human world. People who saw her ran to find out who she was and offered her food and water. The white dog was one of Megumi's demon dog Shikigami. Megumi was a kid when he began using cursed techniques like summoning Shikigamis. It's safe to say that, unknowingly, the Zenin saved Hana's life. Later, Hana was taken in by another unknown person and given a second chance at life. Sexual Anxiety Cursed Spirit, Grade 4. Sato-san, a follower of Geto, brings his daughter to exorcise a possible curse on her. Her daughter insists on going home. Before either of the two of them could tell him what the issue was, Geto started listing down symptoms the girl was going through, like her shoulders being heavy, finding it hard to breathe, having dreams of being raped, and more. Before the girl knows it, Geto exorcises the sexual anxiety cursed spirit. The spirit has 6 arms and multiple eyes and has wrapped itself around the girl, almost like it was humping her. Centipede Curses, Grade 4. Centipede curses are Geto's trademark curse that he uses in his final battle with Yuta in JJK 0. They're as scary as real centipedes could be, just 10 times bigger in size. In the final battle against Yuta, Geto uses his centipedes to initiate attacks. Although it's a Grade 4 curse, Geto's skill in manipulating curses can make them work like Grade 1 curses. Flesh Sucker Curses, Grade 3 or lower. Flesh Sucker Curses are Grade 3 or lower cursed spirits that team up together to suck a person's flesh apart. Geto used them to dispose of Kanimaru after he stopped donating money to his organization. Decoy Curses, Grade 4. Decoys are essentially decoys that an attacker uses to buy time while orchestrating a bigger attack. 2 small-eyed curses were used by Geto while fighting off enemies in the hidden inventory arc. Had these curses been real, armies could use them instead of having each other cover for them while one attacked. It would have saved a lot of lives. Surveillance Curses, Grade 3 or 4. Surveillance curses are one of Geto's curse manipulations with multiple eyes that can be used to observe large areas. However, Geto cannot share their vision like Mei can with her crows. This is quite similar to Gaara's one eye and Itachi Uchiha's crows from Naruto. This makes Geto check in often to learn the status of what he's monitoring. 2 of them have been exorcised by curse users. A curse like this could come in handy to keep an eye on the enemy in the real world. 1, seeing multiple eyes in the sky would scare the enemy. They're scared enough to run and not attack because they don't know what it could do. This could be a good alternative to drones, as they can be shot down and curses cannot be destroyed by human artillery. Horned Server Curse, Grade 4. Some of Geto's curses were docile and harmless too. The Horned Server Curse was one of them. This cursed spirit carried drinks for Amanai as she was chilling with Geto and Gojo in the hotel. It has 2 eyes, 8 limbs, and horns big enough to carry a fully grown human. Stingray Curse, Grade 3. A flying curse that looks a lot like an aquatic stingray. It can levitate and has enough size to support Geto and one other person. Geto used this curse when he had to save Tengen's vessel, Riko. Spoonbill Curse, Grade 3. The Spoonbill Curse was Geto Suguru's ride when he came to meet with Okatsu and his batch, Maki, Inumaki, and Panda at Jujutsu High in Jujutsu Kaisen 0. The Spoonbill Curse was a huge bird with the face of a spoonbill, a fat belly, stout legs, and webbed feet. It had 4 wings and could carry people not just on its back, but in its mouth as well, making it a transportational Shikigami in essence. Fungus Curse, Grade 3. This is a tall curse with a fungus base and several heads mounted on top of each other. It's used by Geto while saving Riko. The largest head on this curse will attempt to kiss whoever is captive. Hookworm Curse, Grade 3. The Hookworm Curse is a ginormous man-eating hookworm-like curse manipulation with sharp teeth inwards that can capture and swallow other large curses for Geto to absorb them later. This curse was a prominent one in Geto's arsenal during his second year at Jujutsu High. It has the element of surprise, as it can appear from anywhere and fill entire hallways. Geto would often use it as a blind spot for himself to fool his opponents by giving them a false opportunity to attack him. The Hookworm Curse was used to immobilize Toji Fushiguro. The worm was able to swallow him and incapacitate him momentarily, but the worm was eventually cut open from the inside by Toji. Zomba Curse, Geto, Grade 2 or lower. The Zomba Curse was a Grade 2 or lower cursed spirit that said Zomba when activating its technique. It first appeared and fought Toge and Yuta at a shopping mall. Geto used it as a decoy in hopes of forcing Rika to manifest. The Zomba Curse looks like a furry alien that tops the charts in terms of heinous-looking aliens after Will Smith's Independence Day. It has a long nose with tusks on either side like a wild boar. It has a hairy body with 2 hands and feet. He is seated in a meditating position and attacks with his fingers, using them as extensions. Samurai Oni Cursed Spirit, Special Grade. This massive 3-eyed warrior was the huge cursed spirit Todo exorcised during the night parade of 1,000 demons in JJK 0. Out of every cursed spirit we saw the Kyoto school taking out in that movie, the Samurai Oni was by far the largest. Kamo was concerned his entire crew wouldn't be able to put a dent in it, considering it possessed massive amounts of cursed energy. Given its size and purported strength, it's probably the special grade that the series tells us Todo killed during the event. The fact that Todo himself is one of the strongest characters in the series should give you a pretty good idea of just how powerful this cursed spirit was. Smallpox Deity, Special Grade. The Smallpox Deity was the special grade diseased cursed spirit that Pseudo Geto summoned during the Shibuya arc using cursed spirit manipulation. Kenjaku had lied when he said that it was the Smallpox Deity. It is called the Smallpox Hag. The fake Geto gave him the false name to sort of intimidate Mei, who was familiar with the disease curses. The Smallpox Hag, or Smallpox Deity, looks nothing more than a grotesque monster who has 2 muscular arms and is covered by hair from top to bottom. It has a belly with some domain expansion curse written on the stomach and ribs that are not exactly closed. It doesn't have feet, and it levitates. Like any other curse, the Smallpox Deity has an ugly smile painted on its face with 2 large tusks as well as sharp teeth. Pseudo Geto summons the curse to battle Mei. After he leaves, the Smallpox Deity traps Mei and her brother Wee in a domain expansion, after which we see Mei being found in a coffin. Suppose she wasn't able to do that. The box would have been crushed by a large boulder. The coffin would be trapped underground when the Smallpox Deity counts down to 3. In the worst case, she would be trapped in the coffin and infected with the disease. However, Mei was able to smash the boulder to pieces and eventually kill the Smallpox Deity. Kurorushi, Special Grade. Kurorushi is a special grade cockroach cursed spirit released from Kenjaku's cursed manipulation in the culling game to participate as a player. The cockroach curse looks disgusting, as do cockroaches in real life. The face, arms, and legs look like they're cut out and attached to a light-colored insect's exoskeleton. It's tall and has 4 human arms. Its abdomen is hidden by a black shroud that extends from the back of its head. It also covers its wings and limbs. The cockroach curse doesn't have a particular personality, but it does have an insatiable hunger for flesh. The humanoid cockroach is one of 16 registered special grade curses that exist. It can summon 1 million cockroaches that use its cursed energy. Kurorushi can also wield the festering life sword. Kurorushi is relatively more intelligent than other curses, but unmatched by disaster curses like Mahito, Jogo, Hanami, and Dagon. Kuchisake-onna, Grade 1. Kuchisake-onna is one of Geto's cursed spirit manipulation techniques that releases an imaginary vengeful cursed spirit. The curse looks like a tall and slender woman with long messy black hair that reaches past her shoulders. Her face is covered by her hair, but if you look closely, you can see multiple eyes within the strands of hair that activate when she gets excited. She has razor-sharp teeth that look similar to those of the Jaws bull shark. Onna wears black shoes, has polka dots on her legs, and wears a light-colored trench coat tied around her waist. Kuchisake-onna is seen during Geto's battle with Toji. Kuchisake-onna trapped Toji in her innate domain and asked him if she was pretty, but he upset her by saying she wasn't his type. The domain then shot multiple flying scissors at Toji's body in an attempt to cut him. However, Toji deflected all the blades and attacked the curse with the inverted Spear of Heaven. The abilities of this cursed spirit known so far include her casting an innate domain. She is one of the intelligent curses, as she knows how to communicate. Kuchisake-onna was one of Geto's strongest curses, which he used often in his second year at Jujutsu High. Jujutsu Kaisen takes inspiration from the real-life Kuchisake-onna that exists in Japanese urban legends and folklore. She used to kill her prey, who didn't consider her pretty, using scissors. Rainbow Dragon, Grade 3. The Rainbow Dragon is one of Geto's strongest curses. It resembles a long white dragon with big yellow eyes and a green mane. It is capable of attacking opponents with pure brute force. It had thick and tough skin, which made it difficult to cut through the curse. Unfortunately, Toji Fushiguro was able to exorcise it in the fight with Geto after he killed Rika Orimoto. Jogo, Special Grade. Jogo is an unregistered special-grade disaster curse, born from the collective negative feelings towards volcanoes as a disaster. He believed that curses were the true humans, and desired to shape the earth in his way and dominate it. He's one of the major antagonists throughout Jujutsu Kaisen, and he is pledged to wipe out humanity. Geto aligned with his aspirations, and they teamed up with other special-grade cursed spirits like Mahito, Dagon, and Hanami to make the strongest group of bad guys sorcerers have ever had to face until now. Jogo is gray, has one eye, and has an evil and ugly smile. The special characteristic of Jogo is his volcano head, which is shaped like Mount Fuji with corked ears and spouts lava when he gets excited. He wears a yellow polka-dotted wraparound with a fluff around his neck. Jogo has a huge sense of pride in being a cursed spirit. He was intelligent and had his own set of beliefs that he lived by. He views humans as creatures who are made of lies and pretend to hide their true nature with superficial positive emotions. Jogo believes that curses, though born from negative energy, have pure intent. So, he thinks that curses born from such truths are the purest forms of humans and the fake ones should be eliminated. Jogo held a huge grudge against Gojo Saduro and would have done anything to get rid of him. He had tried to kill him in Season 1 when he was obliterated and lost his head. Hanami had to rescue him before Gojo killed him. However, in Season 2 of the Shibuya arc, Jogo and the entire team headed by Geto orchestrated a series of attacks on the sorcerer and ultimately sealed him in the prison realm. Jogo later killed other notable sorcerers like Naobito and Nanami and severely injured Maki. He later met his end after a strong face-off with Sukuna, on the terms that Sukuna would work with Jogo if he defeated the rogue sorcerer. Some of Jogo's innate techniques included disaster flames, ember insects, and maximum meteor. He is also able to amplify his domain using his cursed energy other than creating his domain expansions. Hanami, Special Grade. Hanami is a special grade cursed spirit, born from the fear of natural disasters and humanity's mistreatment of nature. Hanami has a large tan body with stripes running across the entire body. She has a helmet-like head and two black lines running zigzag down her face. She has branches in her eye sockets and her arms are colored like the yin-yang symbol. Her left arm is black with white fingers and her right arm is white with black fingers. Hanami wears black baggy pants, which are held with a white sash and a white cloth that covers her left arm and shoulder, which bears a large flower. Hanami is a curse that was born from the negativity of humanity towards nature. Hence, Hanami is a spirit who cares for the planet. She wishes to kill humans and sacrifice them so she and the rest can be revered as the sages for cleaning the world and recreating the earth, where cursed spirits like her will respect nature. Hanami strongly believes in Jogo's ideals and feels they are true humans. Otherwise, Hanami, which means spring, has a calm and peaceful personality. She stands up for her friends, Jogo and Dagon, and enjoys the thrill of the fight. She plays an important role in the execution of the Shibuya incident and gets killed by Gojo in the fight. In terms of abilities, Hanami is strong enough to go toe-to-toe with experienced sorcerers like Aoi Todo and a physically fit Yuji Itadori. She's strong enough to withstand attacks from dangerous cursed tools like Maki's Playful Cloud and Yuji's strongest curse technique, Black Flash. Some of her innate techniques include disaster plans, roots, wooden balls, curled buds, and flower fields. She also knows barrier techniques like domain amplification, similar to Jogo, and she is capable of using domain expansion, which is called the ceremonial Sea of Light. Dagon, Special Grade. Dagon is a disaster special grade cursed spirit and antagonist in Jujutsu Kaisen in the Shibuya arc. Dagon was born from the fear of water-based natural disasters and existed as a cursed womb until he was triggered in a fight with Naobito in the Shibuya incident. In the anime, we see two forms of Dagon. The first is a cursed womb, and the second is his evolved. As a cursed womb, Dagon looks like an octopus or a red squid. He has a circular head, big round eyes, and striped tentacles around his mouth. Dagon's body was like a caterpillar, and he had two muscular arms with 4 fingers. He's normally covered with a white cloth. In his evolved state, however, Dagon is much taller and looks like a humanoid, similar to Hanami. Dagon's head resembled an octopus with black dots on top, along with green eyes and red arms, thighs, hips, and chest. The inner parts of his body were tan, and the stomach was black. He had wings on the lower back that allowed him to levitate. As a cursed womb, Dagon was very docile. He was always under the care of Jogo and Hanami. He stayed on the sidelines throughout most operations until Hanami was killed. Dagon would eat people to survive, but he clearly wasn't as active as the rest of his allies. However, in his avoidance, Dagon's anger over Hanami's demise made him realize how he had to take Hanami's place to successfully execute the Shibuya mission. He also saw that humans, especially sorcerers like Naobito, did not acknowledge them and called them cursed spirits. When he evolved, he screamed, "We all bear names." Dagon had overwhelming powers to challenge sorcerers like Nanami Kento and Naobito Zenin. In his evolved state, Dagon has heightened intelligence and a more physically prominent body space. He was also a tactical fighter. This is seen in the Shibuya incident when he realized that he could not overcome Naobito's speed. He had to distract him before activating his domain and capturing him along with Nanami and Maki. His innate techniques include disaster tides, a tsunami-esque attack that literally hints at the inspiration behind Dagon's creation. We can see him summon Shikigami's endlessly, enough to overwhelm his opponents, especially Naobito, who was the only one to give him a hard fight. He can also create his own domain expansion, which is known as the Horizon of the Captivated Skanda. It took an inanimate killing machine like Toji Fushiguro to finally bring him down. Mahito, Special Grade. Mahito is one of the primary antagonists and a special grade cursed spirit fighting with pseudo Geto. He is also the leader of his group of disaster cursed spirits like Jogo, Hanami, and Dagon. Their ultimate goal is to get rid of humanity and replace the population with cursed spirits. Mahito is a human-looking curse with patchwork and stitches on his face and gray eyes. He has long, grayish-blue hair that reaches past his neck and is divided into 3 sections and tied at the ends. He has stitches all over his body that make the viewers think that he's been sewn together like a rag doll. Mahito believes that he was born from the hatred humans have for each other, which makes him sadistic, manipulative, and immature. He loves toying with human emotions like hatred, sorrow, insecurities, and he also feeds on them. As such, Mahito believes that humans should be killed and cursed spirits should rule the earth. He has zero sympathy for human life and lacks empathy, which makes him psychotic compared to the rest of the cursed spirits. He also believes that reviving Sukuna would help them achieve their goal. Mahito is extremely fast and his reflexes are superb. He has a high intellect and is also a tactical fighter, like Dagon. Like Yuji Itadori, he can use Black Flash. His innate techniques include reshaping souls, merging 2 or more souls that cause a reaction, polymorphic soul isomer, where he can form the souls with weak rejections to attacks into one body, and instant spirit body of distorted killing, which is his ultimate and strongest form. Kachizu, Grade 3. Kachizu is a cursed womb death painting and the youngest brother of Choso and Eso. He plays an antagonist in the death painting. Kachizu looks more like a curse than any other cursed spirit in the Jujutsu Kaisen verse, including his humanoid brothers. Kachizu is a hunchback turquoise monster with claws, 2 mouths, and jagged teeth. He has a small face on the upper part of his head and a huge mouth below it. Kachizu's eye sockets and mouth have blood dripping from it. Kachizu's power as a cursed being is weaker than that of his older brothers. Being the youngest cursed spirit, Kachizu is the least mature and is often seen with Eso. Mahito, with his transformation technique, gave Kachizu a body. This made him obligated to side with Mahito in finding Sukuna's fingers. Kachizu and his brother also supported Mahito as they envisioned a world for themselves where they would live happily together. In the death painting arc, Kachizu faces Yuji, Nobara, and Megumi as he and Eso are out searching for Sukuna's cursed fingers on Yasuhachi Bridge. Kachizu's abilities involve innate techniques like the Rot technique, where Kachizu manipulates his body to produce corrosive blood that can poison targets. Like his brother Choso, he spawns shots of rotten blood at his opponents, burning their flesh. His other technique is called Decay, where he infects the target with floral patterns that decompose their bodies with a special poison. Anyone hit by Kachizu's rotten blood can be infected by this technique, even if he hasn't consciously activated. Eso, Grade 3. Eso is the middle brother and one of the death wombs involved as a major antagonist in the death painting arc. Eso is a tall and well-built humanoid with black hair and violet eyes and a dark sclera. He has thin eyebrows with 2 studs pierced in them. His most scary and grotesque feature is the large, bloody face on his back with sunken eyes, no nose or lips, and an open mouth with long and sharp teeth. For the most part, Eso wears a revealing outfit that includes a striped collar and a bow tie, white cuffs around his wrists, and a band that looks like suspenders around his chest and shoulders that connect to his thongs and leggings. In the anime, the leggings and thongs are a single piece of clothing. The choice of this outfit is to suit the face on his back, otherwise it gets stuffy. Before joining hands with Mahito, Eso lived with his brothers Choso and Kachizu. They lived together in isolation for more than 150 years and are strongly connected with each other. Eso doesn't hold hard feelings towards sorcerers. This is seen when he's fighting Nobara. He's ready to spare her if she concedes and flees. All he cared about was following his older brother Choso's instructions while protecting his younger brother Kachizu. Eso is quite eccentric and enjoys playful banter with his brothers. He enjoys posing, which makes him look more powerful and dominating than others. Although Eso has a warm and welcoming exterior, he has dark secrets that he doesn't share with anyone, not even his brothers. He's embarrassed about the monstrous face on his back and is ready to kill anyone who looks at it. Eso is seen to play an important role in the death painting arc as he goes up against Yuji and Nobara with Kachizu as they search for Sukuna's fingers. Although Eso himself held back while fighting, and as a result of a blow from Yuji he lost an arm, he seemed weaker than Kichizu, who went all out to fight Yuji and Nobara for their cause. Eso also uses Kichizu's rot technique, additionally using blood manipulation to reshape and attack his opponents, which is far more effective than Kichizu's version. His maximum wing king technique helps Eso use wasp-shaped wings that are made from the blood that flows out of his back. These wings enhance Eso's mobility to attack with lines of blood from long range. He also uses decay, like Kichizu, to infect his opponents unconsciously with a special poison. Choso, Special Grade. Choso is a humanoid born from a cursed womb. After Eso and Kichizu's deaths, Choso sided with Kenjaku and Mahito to avenge his brother's murders, until he discovered that Kenjaku was none other than his cruel father, Noritoshi Kamo. Halfway through the Shibuya arc, Choso also learns that Yuji Itadori was a long-lost brother whose memory was wiped out of his head. Choso is a half-human, half-cursed spirit who has the physical body of a human that is visible to non-sorcerers. He has long black hair tied into high ponytails that stand upward and outward. Choso has purple eyes with thin eyebrows and a blood mark that extends from both sides of his face across his nose. He can use this mark and make it bleed when he uses his own blood in blood manipulation to attack targets. The mark changes shape if he uses flowing red scales, which is one of his innate curse techniques. Choso wears a light tan robe that covers his body. It's worn below a purple gi-like vest that covers his torso in a V shape, and the bottom section covers his waist and groin. He also wears a scarf around his neck that matches the color of his gi and brown boots. He also has dark circles around his eyes and looks like he's bored or hasn't slept in days. The humanoid is very calm and reserved by nature. He sometimes seems cold and quiet and tends to be invisible in this group. He's aloof and completely dissociated from his surroundings in most situations. However, he is extremely sensitive about his younger brothers, and thinking about their deaths makes him angry enough to kill anyone. He's highly introverted, and he isn't interested in attacking non-sorcerers. The only two people he harbors hatred for are Yuji, who killed his brothers, and Kenjaku, or Noritoshi Kamo, who played around with his mother. Choso is physically well-built and stronger than his brother, and he's skilled in taijutsu. Choso is powerful even by the standards of cursed spirits and is ranked as a special grade spirit. Choso had mastered blood manipulation, surpassing his father, Noritoshi Kamo, by the time he was incarnated. He is also capable of standing up against a master of martial arts like Yuji. Choso is extremely intelligent and a tactical fighter. He made it extremely difficult for Yuji to dodge his attacks because he was following instructions from Mekamaru, who knew what Choso was capable. Choso was also able to predict Yuji's moves and attacks and harden his body parts accordingly by manipulating blood. Speaking of his abilities, Choso has a strong blood connection with his brothers, which helps him sense changes in his brother's blood no matter how far away they are from each other. His blood is just as poisonous as Eso and Kichizu's, or more impactful, as he was able to poison Urami and Naoya Zenin. Choso can convert his cursed energy into blood, which reduces the chances of him losing blood from his body. In rare situations, like during his fight with Yuji, he can use his body's blood for manipulation to attack. Some of his inherent techniques are slicing exorcism, where he manipulates blood and shapes it into sharp weapons that are capable of slicing through flesh, convergence and piercing blood techniques, where he converges blood into small orbs around him and directs them towards his opponents, piercing through them. Supernova is one of his strongest techniques, where he detonates several orbs of blood that are condensed with convergence and fires blood bullets in every direction. It can also be channeled into one big sphere that explodes as an intense and devastating attack. The Blood Edge helps him use blood to shape and strengthen its lethality with high-speed rotation outside his body and shape it into a dagger. Flowing Red Scale improves his performance by pumping blood throughout his body to take in more oxygen. This improves Choso's pulse rate and increases the number of red blood cells, enhancing his strength and speed. Blood Meteorite is a technique that hardens Choso's blood to create small stones made of highly condensed and hardened blood. He uses this to harden the blood inside his body, risking himself thrombosis. Choso imitated Eso's maximum Wing King during his fight with Kenjaku. He creates a blood halo that sprouts 4 wasp-like wings. These wings create vector lines of blood that can pierce through targets. Choso uses this technique as a distraction to surround his opponent with compressed blood orbs to prepare for a stronger attack. Ganesh Cursed Spirit, Special Grade. Ganesha, inspired by the Asian god, is a special grade Asian divine curse controlled by Kenjaku with special curse spirit manipulation techniques. Ganesha has an elephant head and a giant human-like body with 4 arms. It has long and pointy ears that look like horns and 2 sharp tusks. His trunk is curled inward to the right, and his eyes are slanting with red irises and dark sclerae. He has 2 dents on his body, one on his belly and the other on his forehead. He wears beaded bracelets in his hands and a golden and black dotted jacket. In the manga, Ganesha appeared from a rift in space that he pulled open with his hands when Kenjaku summoned him. His powers resemble those of the Asian god as he removes obstacles for his devotees. But the difference is that this divine spirit is Kenjaku's slave and removes obstacles from Kenjaku's path to make life easier for him. Ganesha used his powers to eliminate military personnel obstructing Kenjaku's path in the White House by throwing all the soldiers into the sky outside the building. Tamamo-no-Mae, Special Grade. Tamamo-no-Mae is an imaginary, vengeful cursed spirit that Suguro Geto controls with his cursed spirit manipulation technique. It is one of the 16 special grade cursed spirits. The cursed spirit has 4 eyes and middle-parted, long black hair that goes all the way down to the back of its legs. Its mouth looks like that of a puppet, fixed on the face from the outside. Tamamo-no-Mae looks like a humanoid, but her feet are webbed like a duck's, and it looks like she's standing tiptoe. It wears a light-colored kimono with 2 green stripes on either ends of the sleeves. There are yellow polka dots between the green stripes. Although its power and abilities are unknown, Tamamo-no-Mae is a character in the anime that is inspired by a figure with the same name in Japanese mythology. According to sources, Tamamo-no-Mae was a fox spirit that corrupted kings and rulers in the Edo period. Sugawara Mikazane, Special Grade. Mikazane Sugawara is one of the big 3 vengeful spirits and an ancestor of Gojo Satoru and Yoda Okotsu. This character is based on a real-life character that goes by the same name. In the real world, Sugawara was a poet, politician, and scholar in the Heian era. It is said that Gojo and Yuta were born with massive reserves of cursed energy because they were related to Mikazane Sugawara by blood. Rika Orimoto, Vengeful Curse, Special Grade. Rika Orimoto is a human-turned vengeful spirit that only obeys Yuta. She remains with Yuta after turning into a cursed spirit as her soul is unbound by it. Rika left the last vestiges of her will to the cursed spirit, which symbolizes the representation of love by leaving a part of herself behind to protect Yuta. She is also known as the Queen of Curses. She transformed into a powerful curse because of the intense negative emotions she experienced during her final moments, when Yuta was in denial of accepting her death. This led her spirit to cling to Yuta and become a cursed spirit. As a result, her transformation amplified her hidden cursed energy. She can use it in a way that very few cursed spirits can. Rika has 2 forms. The first form is where she partially manifests a white, elongated, skull-shaped head with horizontal lines running all the way down. This form has no eyes and long, razor-sharp teeth. Most of her body seems to be coming out of a black space. She has 2 muscular, human-like arms with black fingernails. Although Rika Orimoto wanted to protect Yuta, there were times where she lost control over herself and ran amok. There were scenes in JJK 0 where she thinks she's pretty in her vengeful spirit form, covered in the blood of a cursed spirit. It helped Yuta in the end, but the scene was scary enough to make Gojo concur with. Rika, Cursed Spirit, Special Grade. In her second form, which is the complete form, Rika is no longer a vengeful spirit, as Yuta is able to remove the curse. In this form, she has long white hair. Her upper body is comparatively more muscular. The lower part of her body is like the black tail of a genie. When she's in her prime, Rika's third eye opens, which is located on her head between the eyes. Rika communicates with short, direct statements and questions or by calling Yuta's name. Yuta summons her in times of danger, but she sometimes appears herself without summoning when she senses Yuta is likely to be attacked from behind. Unlike her vengeful form, Rika is calm and composed and obeys Yuta. However, there have been times when she went overboard in the name of protecting Yuta. Because of Rika and Yuta's connection with the Orimoto ring, Yuta can access small amounts of cursed energy and cursed weapons. Being an unbound curse, she can manipulate curse energy on a virtually unmatched scale. This allows her to use a multitude of powerful techniques, like creating barriers, manipulating environments, and controlling other cursed spirits. Her curse adapts and grows as she faces stronger opponents. This makes her versatile and adaptable to situations that are difficult to accomplish by even Jujutsu sorcerers when they use reverse curse techniques. Naoya Zenin, Grade 1 or higher. Naoya Zenin is Naobito Zenin's youngest son in the clan, who incarnated as a vengeful spirit. As a vengeful cursed womb, Naoya is far more dangerous and has a monstrous appearance. He doesn't have a human body anymore, he's now a large and long caterpillar. He has human arms and his head is covered with a skeletal helmet with 6 holes that hide his face, which still resembles his human form. In his complete manifestation, he looks like a chrysalis with a skull-shaped head and muscular tissues bound together to function as limbs. Naoya has always had a spoiled brat personality, filled with pride and accomplishing tasks for self-serving benefits. He has always wanted to be the head of the Zenin clan, and was very sensitive about the subject. He was furious to learn that someone else had already become the head of the clan, which made him run amok. Naoya was extremely powerful as a cursed spirit that retained the innate cursed techniques he had as a human. He was incredibly fast, even as a cursed spirit, and he could fly through the air at supersonic speeds. During his fight with Noritoshi and Maki, it was difficult for either of them to pin him down. Naoya pinned down Maki with his high-speed attacks. Master Tengen, Special Grade. Master Tengen, or Tengen-sama, is a group of sorcerers merged into one body that is known as the Star. They preached the foundation of Jujutsu sorcerers and ended up forming religious groups that worship the Star as their god. Tengen has 3 forms. The first form is of a body with a cylindrical head in a fetal position. Once this form has a vessel, known as the Star Plasma Vessel, they take the form of a humanoid. But after the recent Star Plasma spirit was killed by Toji Fushiguro, Tengen was forced to ruminate in a body similar to their first form, where they have a cylindrical head and 6 eyes with a developed body. They wear a light-colored robe. Not everyone is allowed to see the true appearance of Tengen-sama. Only those who are permitted know that Master Tengen doesn't have a physical form. Being a preacher, Tengen is civilized, well-mannered, straightforward, and knowledgeable, with the best interests of humanity and Jujutsu sorcerers in mind. They don't mind being stern and demanding what they want, as they know that they are the key to humanity's survival. They are also quite sympathetic and cognizant of human emotions. Tengen is immortal and is known as a pillar of security for the sorcerer community. They are the strongest and most potent barrier technique users, even superior to Kenjaku. However, they don't fight and need strong Jujutsu sorcerers to protect them. Tengen also has tactical war intelligence. This is seen during the Culling Game arc, where he plans out each sorcerer's role to stop the Culling Game and Kenjaku and safeguard Tengen, who is Kenjaku's prime target. Marvelous verdict! As Gege Akutami still continues to write Jujutsu Kaisen, chances are there will be a variety of cursed spirits we'll witness, both in the anime and in the manga. This comprehensive, to-date list of cursed spirits is also symbolic of the kind of negativity human civilization harbors in real life, right from a cursed spirit as complex as the sexual anxiety cursed spirit to a daily hatred for cockroaches. Every bit of negative emotion leads to an increase in evil in society. It's also interesting how Kenjaku, or pseudo-Geto, absorbs cursed spirits. Although a cursed technique, this in a way shows how humans in the real world absorb negative emotions just as easily as Kenjaku sucks in cursed spirits. As the story progresses, you never know how a simple negative emotion is so minutely detailed as to make it a mortal curse. That's all we've got for you guys this time, but thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.